Who wants to go first? President Lowe, I guess. Here we go. Might as well start at the top.
Yeah. Nice bow tie.
Thank you. Start the uniform. Governor Hogan, Controller Francho, and Treasurer Cobb. Thank you for this opportunity to speak very briefly about the proposal before you to declare these properties, 10 of them surplus, so they can eventually be transferred to this LLC, this public-private partnership for real estate development. I will say simply this. We are an educational institution engaged in education and research. We are not in the real estate business. However, we are in the business of innovation and entrepreneurship. Our vision is that beyond education and research, we have to translate the results of that research in order to create new companies, create jobs, and be an engine for the economic vitality of the state. In order to do that, however, we need to have real estate that we need to develop and to manage. And so what has happened for a long, long time, the vision that we have had of ourselves as a university is a college in a park. Our vision is that we are in the beautiful oasis disconnected from the surrounding community. That vision has changed. So over the past 5 years or so, with the support of the state and with the complete support of the local communities, we are now viewing ourselves as a university in the city of College Park and in the greater surrounding area of College Park to create, the vision is to be the hub for innovation and entrepreneurship for the entire Mid-Atlantic. What that means is we're creating new companies, we're bringing in new companies to this area, and for them to come, we need to have places for them to live, we need to have amenities, and in that process, we will also enhance community development. And one final word. To make sure that this mission of the university to contribute to economic development will outlast us here, that long after I'm gone as president, this will continue. We want to institutionalize it. And that's why we have set up this LLC that will enable us to do business at the speed of business, and it will continue long after we are gone from our present positions. Thank you very much for considering.
Well, thank you, President Lowe. And while you're there, I just want to again congratulate you. It was such a pleasure to take part in the ceremony with the Clark Foundation investment of $219 million into the College Park. That's just probably the biggest day in the history of the university. And great work by everybody involved.
And this is a great investment in the future of the people of the state of Maryland. Thank you.
I just have a question for President Lowe. I also share the governor's high opinion of you, and I particularly like the $219 million. That's a very move forward into the future. And I'm very supportive of the Terrapin Development Corporation, the LLC you mentioned. You have former county executive Ken Altman, who is the, I guess, the main staff person or board member or whatever his title might be, but he obviously has a lot of respect.
President of Terrapin Development Company.
Oh, wow, okay, president. No, president, yes, I like that, that's good. Has a nice ring to it. And so I have a lot of respect for Mr. Altman, and I've met with Senator Rosapep, who is obviously very vigilant as far as the local participation that you mentioned, and I applaud all of the negotiations that have gone forward and have nothing but support and best wishes for this new initiative. And I agree with you, probably none of us will be here when these things all perhaps bear fruit. But thank you for getting the ball rolling, and your team for having a great program. I have no problem with today's vote, but when the 3 properties out of the 10 that are on your list come back to us, I think 45 days from now, for an actual vote, I would importune you to protect the traditional responsibility of the Board of Public Works to oversee and vote on transfers of ownership and interest in those properties that have been moved to the LLC. And I say that not out of any disrespect for anyone involved in the university or College Park or anywhere. I'm just following up on what you said, which is, you know, some of us aren't going to be here when all of these things happen. And it's good to have an extra set of eyes. I can't imagine a developer in the country that would not like to come before the board with the governor, the comptroller, and the treasurer, obviously voting approval for something that you all have worked out. That would, in my opinion, be the good housekeeping seal of approval, and would also protect the normal protocol of the Board of Public Works in these types of transactions. So I view it as a friendly amendment if you all could work that out somehow when you come back for the final vote. It really doesn't have anything to do with the merits of all of your activities. It has to do with this particular institution. And thank you for listening to that. Look forward to you coming back for the final approval in 45 days or so. And I compliment Senator Rosenpath for having worked out something, having worked at the local level. No good deed goes unpunished at the local level. Sometimes people feel so emotional about these things. And to the extent that you now have something that he and others in the delegation are supportive of, feather in your cap, if you could let me put another feather in your cap 45 days from now, that would be great.
Well, this transformation of College Park that's not going on would not be possible without the close partnership with the state senator and our local officials. So thank you very much. Thank you for sharing your
Don't forget us.
Thank you, President Love. Maybe, let's have the senator. You have something to do with.
I do.
Share with us.
I do. Thank you very, very much. And I apologize to everyone here on school construction for taking a little bit of time on this. But I do appreciate my two former colleagues and a former constituent of mine for giving me the time to share some thoughts on this. I want to say, first of all, I'm here on behalf of Delegate Peña-Melnick and Delegate Barnes and Delegate Frutz, 21st delegation, totally focused on this over the past month or two. I want to start off by thanking both the institution, the Board of Public Works, and the three individuals on the Board of Public Works in the context of issues related to community development in College Park. Over the years, and frankly, the treasurer and the controller have more memory of this because they've been here a little longer than the governor does, the Board of Public Works has traditionally been an important ally of the city of College Park and the community in College Park in making sure that things work well for the community and the university. And so, once again, you are playing that role. And on behalf of the delegation, on behalf of the community, I want to thank you institutionally and individually, because we would not be here with this agreement without your leadership. So first of all, I want to thank all of you. Secondly, I want to thank President Lowe, Vice President Colella, President Ullman, and also a gentleman who's not here, or maybe he's here, but I don't see him up front, and that's Ed McGinnis, who is the real estate guru on the campus, who has really worked very hard to bring this about. They have been very focused, exactly as President Lowe said, and I agree with every word he said, that since he has become president, the focus of the university has been to embrace the community instead of fearing the community. And the community has embraced back. And the things you see and the things you don't see in College Park today are the result of that partnership. And I want to mention one or two because the context of this is important. Before President Lowe came, we had a big problem with the university getting agreement on the route for the Purple Line. It was a big problem. Within 6 months, President Lowe got the university, in my judgment, and I think the judgment of everyone who favors transit and wants to deal with these issues, on the right side. And the Purple Line, we were at the groundbreaking together. It is going forward. President Lowe had a big role in that. Not a lot of people talk about it, but he had a big role in that, number one. Number two is, I know the governor in particular is a big champion of charter schools. And one of the best charter schools in Maryland is College Park Academy, which was launched as a result of President Lowe's leadership and the leadership of the mayor of College Park. The ribbon cutting for the new building was 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, something like that. Built by St. John's Company, under the direction of Carlo Colello, the Vice President for Finance, you're going to talk about school construction. As you know, the average cost of a new school in Maryland is $46,000 per student. College Park Academy, a brand new school on university land, built by St. John's, opened last week, $13,400 per student. So I say that as a little bit of inspiration for our friends coming in looking for how they can build more schools more quickly. Representing a district which has a huge number of overcrowded schools, it's a very important issue for the 21st delegation, so I apologize for making that little plug on school construction.
Maybe you can hang out for the rest of the day.
But back to the issue at hand. So the Terrapin Development Corporation, as President Lowe said, is a very good idea. Everything he said, I agree with, is the university is a terrific educational institution. Real estate, it's not its core competence. They've done good things over the years, but this is going to make it much, much easier for them with their property and with other property they may acquire in the future in the city of College Park and close by to develop it in the interests of the community and of the university. I want to emphasize, and I say this mostly for the record, this is a big deal. This is a little bit, for our little community in College Park in Beltsville where the governor used to live, and for University Park and other areas, this is a little bit like when the state of Maryland in the 19th century helped capitalize the B&O Railroad. That was like a new idea, it was innovative, what's going to happen with it? Well, the B&O Railroad had a big impact on the development of our state and frankly our country. This Terrapin Development Corporation is going to be capitalized immediately with tens of millions of dollars. And if it's successful, which we all hope it will be, it can grow easily into a multi-hundred-million-dollar institution. Therefore, we all have an interest in it being run and succeeding in the right way. And so the issues that the city's been discussing with the university and that the delegation has been discussing with the university go a little bit to some of the issues that the controller raised. Is just as Wall Street needs guardrails, just like the biotech industry needs guardrails, real estate development needs guardrails. And so basically what we have worked out, and you have a copy of it, I believe. I presume you have a copy of the agreement. Lays out processes that the delegation believes very strongly, and the university, let them speak for themselves, but I think they agree, are appropriate to make sure, as President Lowe said, that our successors, I have no fear at all that President Lowe and Vice President Colello and President Ullman understand the interests of the community, are committed to it, and are going to make things happen the right way. But unfortunately, as he said, none of us live forever, and this is a forever decision. So I won't go through the substance of the agreement. You have it before you. I would like it included in the record, obviously. The point is that it is designed to make sure that as Terrapin Development Corporation operates, it is doing so, again, I can quote the controller, with transparency, but also with cooperation. So they're not surprising people with, oh, they just acquired this property, who knew? Or they decide that they think they get a great rate of return on some kind of development at the corner of Route 1 and Campus Drive that might not be something that the other business people in the area, the other citizens in the area might think was the right approach. So it provides a lot of transparency, a lot of cooperation. It also addresses in part the controller's issue because they are agreeing that for transfers of property, this vote and the next vote will be to transfer property from the university to the Terrapin Development Corporation. If in the future the Terrapin Development Corporation transfer the properties to a third party, that it would have to come back before the board of public works. They've already agreed to that, and that's in this agreement. We pushed it. It's a good thing. It may satisfy your issues. Please take a look at it. Welcome your thoughts on it. The other thing it does that is less technical, but really important, and I think a great demonstration of President Lowe and the university's commitment and respect for the city is there are 9 members of this governing board. They've already been appointed. 5 of them were appointed by the University of Maryland Foundation. 5 of them were appointed by the president. Unfortunately, in the first round, none of them live in the city of College Park. In fact, none of them live in Prince George's County. And we all know real estate is about location, location, location. And so I think everyone agreed that going forward, it would make sense to have some of that local expertise. And so we've agreed that when the next vacancy comes up among the president's appointments for non-employees of the university, that the city will recommend 3 candidates from the city for the president to consider. The president will still make the appointments, but they'll come from recommendations in the city, from the city. And we think that's a really big substantive step and symbolic demonstration of the kind of commitment that President Logan made to the city. With that, I strongly urge approval of this item. Happy to take questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. Any questions of the Senator?
Just thank you very much for that presentation. Why don't we just save some time and put Rosapep on the board? Is that possible? That's just,
No.
thank you for your advocacy.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jim, for your advocacy, and it's, as usual, very detailed. And I just, I looked at the first item in the memorandum that you mentioned.
Right.
And I see it does apply BPW approval for the initial sale of property. All I'm suggesting is including the normal language, which is, and any transfer of interest, i.e. ground leases. That would be totally meet my concern, which is not grounded in any individuals that are currently in this room. We're all going to be moving on. It's just making sure that the institutional oversight is preserved. And I just wanted to thank you for this language that is there. And Mr. President, if you could think about amending it with a few extra words, that would make everything very smooth coming down the road 45 days. But Governor, thank you for letting me get into the weeds there. It's an important issue.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Senator. Now, we want to hear from Mr. Colella and Mr. Allman. If you
Don't screw it up. I think we're doing good.
I want to say thank you
if you want to rebut anything that the Senator said.
Not at all. I just want to thank each and every one, each of you for taking the time to spend time on this. Your staffs have all been really gracious with their time. There's been a lot of back and forth. Have an agreement with the city, now an agreement with the 21st delegation. I will just say anecdotally, I was telling the comptroller, I just got off a red eye from Seattle, where I spent the last 2 days with the University of Washington and their team and talking about their collaboration with Amazon and Microsoft and what's going on in Seattle. And I just tell you, I'm more convinced than ever that the work that we're doing in partnership with the state and your leadership and Secretary Gill and others and the legislature, what we're doing in College Park to create the innovation ecosystem, we're onto something big. And this vote and subsequent 45 days will enable us to act at the speed of business when we're attracting new companies and the amenities that are needed to continue to build that ecosystem. So,
Great. Thank you very much for your efforts.
Governor, I hate to just pile on, but I want to reiterate for the umpteenth time my support, strong support and appreciation of the development of the TDC. I think you guys have done a terrific job that is going to serve the people of Maryland and the nation very well. The coming together of the foundation and the university is a great, in managing the future, is a great step, one that is beneficial to both the university and the community. I don't think it would have happened without the folks who are sitting here, Mr. President. I agree with the comptroller in his appreciation and strong support. Look forward to seeing it growing, Mr. President. I think you're going to do a great job. I thank you again for your tour of the area, and I can't wait to see the things start growing. And I too respect the role of the Board of Public Works, and I hope the traditional role will be maintained, and on the other hand, will not impinge upon the rights of the corporation or of the university or of the foundation. Look forward to seeing things move fast.
thank you. And obviously,
We'd like to see it.
and while I'm here, the hotel, which is now open, is open to a large extent because of the support of this board in enabling the foundation of the university to move forward with the anchor and the catalyst of this area. So
Thank you very much. Any other questions on the university system agenda? Approve their motion second. 3-0. Now we're going to move on to information technology.
Morning, Governor.
Morning.
Madam President, Comptroller, for the record, my name is Albert Bullock, Assistant Secretary for Administration, Department of Information Technology. Today we have 3 items on the agenda, and we have agency representatives here answering questions.
Population of college park.
Yeah, we have the Senator Roosevelt making a lot of noise in the back of the room. Any questions on